Come. Place. Right here. Good. Stay. Stay. Now, come here. Place. Good. Stay. This is the first time doing this with me. Have you done it? You haven't done it with me. This is the first time. Very good. Wow. Wow, that was some pro moves right there that you just did. You went on and put yourself.
It's so hard for him to stay.
Yes, it is. Some dogs are really good at staying, and they have trouble with the moving commands, and other dogs have trouble with the moving commands, but they love staying. And there's some dogs that don't want to do either of them, and that's him. He doesn't want to stay, but he also doesn't want to repulse you either. He wants 100% independence. You listen to him. It's just, and listen, this is how a lot of dogs come in. The young males are like this a lot. They want to they're going to test you until they fail at every corner, and then they're going to submit to you, and then they're going to be a joy for you in your relationship. But they're designed to test the leader. They're just going to walk up to you. They're going to poke you every now and then to make sure you're still alive, right? Because he's one of those dogs that likes to climb the ladder hierarchically, right? He's keeping an eye on that. Good. Good. Cool thing is, all the stress you're seeing in him is going to go away. He's going to be a stable dog. That's the goal. Good boy. Teaching him impulse control. This is puppy stuff right here, right? Like, hey, stay right there, and I'm gonna come over here. Like, that's puppy stuff. Struggling hard with it, right? Good. Stay. Now I'm just eating my breakfast. I'm gonna sit down, which makes them wanna come over to me. Totally, you can see it. He can't get happy every once in a while.
He's trying so hard.
And so what we have here is we've set up a situation where the brain has an ultimatum, right? His old association, which is to go as he pleases, especially if I sit down, come right over here. The new expectation, stay there. The brain's fighting. So that's where you're seeing the vibration, the panting. He's thinking about what he used to do, he wants to do it, but he knows the new expectation and the consequences that will be applied if he breaks him. So what you're seeing is the dog is not fully committed, but he's committed enough to stay there, and he's just kind of like back and forth on the thoughts. We sit here in this moment where he's like this, and we let the brain go through the process. He might make a mistake and give in to the old association, get off, get corrected, sent back, do this again, right? What's going to happen is eventually the brain's not going to allow him to stress anymore because there's no, it's wasting so much energy and there's no threat. So can't justify wasting energy. The guy takes a little bit of a nap, he'll lay down, he'll relax. We'll let him ease into that, we'll let him sit there for a minute, and then we can release him after that. And he had learned something for the first time probably in his whole life, which is, I want you to stay there even though you want to get off. And he had to go through it, right? The battle of like, I'm not supposed to get off, but I want to. I'm not supposed to do this, but I want to. And back and forth in the mind until the mind turns off and he submits. The first time's the hardest. Second time's easier. 10 times down the road, 20 times down the road, it's like automatic. When they go on the place, but they go right into that state, right? So it's a beautiful moment. He just de-stressed a bit. Can you see? So he did a little bit of sniffing the bed, like let me get to know this area if I'm going to be here a while. That's a little bit of acceptance that we're seeing from him.
Get comfortable.
Getting comfortable, so he's going through the process, and he's starting to submit.
Ooh,
good boy.
Put his head down.
So that's a good boy right there.
The energy feels better.
That's a good boy right there, right? And that state of mind, we want him to carry that as a default, unless he's offered otherwise. So unless I'm saying, hey, let's go crazy, I'd like you to go into that calm space that you went in for a split second. See him there for a second? Then it's pop back up, stretch, very normal. Pop back up, worry about the options again, right? Looking right at me, the place he wants to be. Panting, stressing, thinking, right? Not as intense as a couple minutes ago though. Not as intense, it went down. There was a lot of vibration when I first sat down, right? So this is duration work with him. We take some time, we let him sit there. It's his first time doing this, so it's hard on him, but look, he's already adjusted himself within the matter of, what was it, 10 minutes or something? He's adjusted himself. It's not taking a whole lot from me. I'm seeing good signs here, believe it or not. We're gonna get a dog who's gonna come in and be able to be stable on the bed without worrying about everything that's going on around him. And he's gonna be happier, and so aren't the owners. Good. I'm gonna give him a little attention here. Good. And then make it a little more difficult. Place. The pressure's on. Place. See, he's exploring the option. Good. Mild correction there. Good. Dealt with it very well. Reward for the way he dealt with it. Good boy. Like a champ. Good. He felt that pressure. And he started thinking, well, okay, what do I do to turn this off? He looked at me and seen me pointing to the bed. He went back to the bed, turned it off. That's super. That's the skill that I want him to make the mistake so he can learn that skill. He did it. The correction went away. He gets it. Good. That's huge. What he could have done is ran down the stairs, ran away, fought the whole thing. He stopped. He checked in with me, looked at me, pointed at the bed, got the information, got on the bed. He could not do that when he first came in. Listen, that is. Look at me and listen. So that's what he's learning. Like Julie would say, it takes, with dogs like this, you need extra time. It takes time just to get them to the normal state of what a dog would come in as, you know. They're like in the negative, so it takes like the extra time to even get them to like where a normal dog would be. And when I say normal dog, a dog who kind of already gets the game of how to listen a little bit and knows, you know, and isn't so dominant or stubborn where they're willing to fight for positions in the hierarchy. They're just kind of like the average dog. They come knowing their stuff. You give them a couple corrections, they're tuned in, they listen. Guys like this, he's super anxious, he's not paying attention at the same time. He's underdeveloped, so he has bad judgment, so he overreacts, but he wants to be treated like the king, like he owns the place, but he can't handle any type of confrontation, real confrontation, right? So he's a mess upstairs. I don't have to worry about any of that. I have to worry about creating a follower, and then all of a sudden, this guy's stable. The whole problem is he's trying to lead his life. Once he commits to somebody to follow, like myself, we're gonna see this guy be very, very balanced upstairs and the best version of himself. He's already getting there. I'm seeing it right now, a lot less stress right here. Yesterday, this would have been near impossible. The day before that, when did you come in? Today's day 3, right? Yeah, today's day 3.
Yeah, third full day.
Yeah.
Came in Tuesday, today's Thursday.
He's made a lot of progress every 24 hours up to this point. So, good. I'm excited to see where he's gonna be in a couple weeks.
Yeah, he doesn't bark anymore
Well,
when I
he
have another
hasn't.
dog out.
He hasn't yet. We'll see what he does when we start pushing it a little further, but he's been silent, right? The first whine I heard was, like you said, out there when I started talking to the camera and started puffing up and looking around, and I was just letting him do it to show the demonstration. He comes back to me and starts whining. It's like, okay, there's proof. You can't let him act like that in your pack. You have to be that dog that says, hey, you're not allowed to puff up like this and walk around, right? I have to do that to Riggins. If I let him walk around like that too much, we're gonna have problems. They start to see themselves as top dog. Okay? Good. He's doing a pretty good job. I'm just gonna see if there's any more mistakes in him. With a dog, this place. Good. In order to get the anxiety out, I want to have him make the mistake as much as possible by kind of just pushing them out in a fair way. Like you see, I'm not taunting. I'm not telling him to get off. Like, come here and then correcting him. No. That would break trust. I'm just setting up situations where I know he's going to make a mistake so that he can make them all. The more he can make and get corrected and remedied, the less he'll worry in the future. Because he's already tried it, didn't work, he's went down his list. Now he's wise and calm. But if I just correct him and keep him on there and don't sift through all these mistakes, he's always going to want to get it. He might stay on there, but he's worried. Because I want, I never tried to run really fast over in that corner. What if I try that? I'm going to take days to let him try them all, right? All the dogs do this. We just all. That's why they look so good on place, is because they're so experienced at that point. Like there's no use of trying to get off or whatever prematurely. We tried it all. Good. This is called very mild distractions. Now, this is mild stuff. He struggles with mild stuff, so we're sticking with him. Good. Good. What is it?
I got it. Hello?
Hey! How's it going? Good. Good. You felt good hearing that good voice. See, that's okay. Did that right. That was good. See, the thing when they get old like this, when they get a little older, he's not an old dog, but he's an adult. You can almost see them like, they're like, don't be condescending towards me. I can see it, like they're like, don't treat me like a puppy. And it's like, dude, you're acting like a puppy. You know what I mean? And you're right, I agree with you. We should have did this when you were an actual puppy. But we have to go through it now. Sorry, you have to sit back in class, or you got held back a couple years. You got to go through it now. You got to learn how to stay there while I roll a ball across the room. And like adult dogs, they hear the dog, they're like, don't treat me like this. I can see them thinking that from time to time in the early process. It's like, it's almost like if you could be condescending, that's how I can see it. Almost like their eyes roll like Jesus. But necessary. All right? Good. So that's why the frustration comes out. Good. 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 A lot of eye contact with me. I like it. I'm always rewarding that eye contact. Good. Good. We're shaking. A lot of shaking. Good.
He has a request.
It ain't nothing but a bad dog. You ain't a bad dog. Good. He's looking at me direction. So all these are reps, right? Something happens. He sees it. He looks at me. Good. So I'm teaching him something will happen in the environment. You'll see it. You look at me for direction. Good. That's broken down because what it's going to look like when it's all done is like somebody will come to the door or something and he'll look at me and I'll say, go to place, right? And then I'll look through the door. But what I worked really hard for is he sees anything happen in the environment. And if he has the urge to go towards it or run away from it, he's going to stop himself and look at me and say, what should I do? That's under the surface, right? It's not one particular command. It's them learning how to take direction, how to learn. Okay, I say your name, for example. I want eye contact and listening to what I'm going to say next, right? I don't want you to ignore me if I say your name. And I definitely don't want you just to guess what I'm going to ask you to do. I want you to stop, listen and say, what would you like, right? Duke. Good. Break.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Good boy.
Holy smokes, that was huge. Oh my God, dude. Oh my God. Did you see what you did? That was big boy stuff. Big boy stuff. You're growing up into being mature. Yes, you are.